everyone. It's me again. I'm Ian. What do I do? Wait. I'm a certified nutrition coach specializing in health behavior change. I'm so glad to be here to get to know more of you. And this is such a beautiful community and village that we are building because perimenopause and menopause, when I look at it, it's almost like going through puberty and this one was going in reverse. And we didn't struggle alone. I remember for myself, I struggled together with other sisters, the neighbors, classmates, some coach. There must be somebody in your life that helped you. So we're now writing the next chapter of our life, and we're so happy to be here with you all. So today, using nutrition to support perimenopause and menopause. Have you ever thought that it would be just so nice if we could just lose a few more pounds? Or have you ever felt there's so much nutrition advice out there, you just don't know where to start? Raise your hand if that's you. Okay. Have you, if you could imagine, like, you could know what to do under what circumstances, having a very good control of your body, how would that feel? When I was 40, I lost my mother unexpectedly. And that struggle to stress eating for comfort. I would eat a lot of fried chicken and pizza in one meal, nonstop for a long period of time. At the beginning, it was okay. And over time, I felt deeply depressed, swollen, serious brain fog. I felt floppier and swollen. And then one day, a friend commented on my look. She said, "Nice jacket. Is that your new style?" But she meant well. But it was a jacket that I had bought for myself for covering my bigger body. And so I felt so embarrassed and exposed. And especially if you knew my mom and me, we used to talk about how to age gracefully together. And this would be the last thing that mom would have wanted to see. So the moment really woke me up. And that determination drove me to discover a gut-friendly plan forward metabolic reset center that started in Taiwan. I started to pay attention to when I eat, what I eat, including a food group, some food groups that I didn't eat so much in the past, and reducing some other food groups. Step by step, I was able to calm my inflammation, reduce my belly fat, reduce my cravings for fried chicken and pizza. Of course, I still eat them, just don't get me wrong. It's just like, oh, I need them right away. So in the end, I was able to lose 12% body fat, 17 pounds, and I got really good lab results. And the best part, I kept the weight off since then. So a lot of times when people talk about midlife weight management, or just midlife midsection management, we talk only about moving more and eating less. But it's more complicated than that. First of all, not everybody likes to exercise. Second of all, with all the mood swings and hormonal fluctuations, it seems that we have to look for different solutions for different problems, and we get even more exhausted. But maybe what we could do is a paradigm shift. A shift that finds a source that connects everything. When I worked at the primary care clinic, I saw that no matter who I talked to, no matter what background or language we spoke, people generally needed a guide, a system, an environment to help them manage their health outside of the four walls of the clinic. So I decided to use my background in behavioral science to help more people to get healthier. And I designed a care program that emulated the program that started in Taiwan. reducing inflammation, reducing belly fat, reducing cravings, and start building a healthy foundation for graceful aging. So today, I'm going to walk you through 3 common challenges we all face in midlife. I'm going to show you what the common trap that could keep even the smartest woman stuck, and show you a simple solution that you can start implementing today. I will share as much as I can in the limited time we have together, and I'll show you how you can take this further. So the first thing that we notice during midlife is that stubborn belly fat. Awesome. So during midlife, as our estrogen declines, the fat storage just naturally shifts from our hip to our belly. That's just law of nature. There's no denying of it. What's interesting though is that you can think of your gut as a neighborhood. In the neighborhood, there are different neighbors that live in there, telling your brain what you crave, what you want to eat. Ideally, we want more fiber-loving neighbors to move in, not those who crave high salt, high fat, high sugar. The trap is, a lot of times when we see that this section growing, we start panicking and we start to tell ourselves, oh, I have to work out more, I have to eat less. Restricting ourselves has a side effect because our body naturally wants relief. And you know who does relief really well? Can tell me what food does relief really well? Gives you instant happiness. Okay. Processed food, super processed food, are high in fat, sugar, and salt. They're designed to be addictive. They give us happiness right away. It gives us dopamine. We're happy. That's my fried chicken and pizza is. And when you see the vicious cycle here, so we restrict ourselves and we want relief and we reach for super processed food. And then that high fat, high salt, high sugar content increases our inflammation, messes with our own GLP-1 production. That's a hot term. Everybody's talking about it, GLP-1. Our body actually produces GLP-1. It's a hormone that tells our body that we're full. But when we constantly mess with it, with the high salt, high sugar, high fat content, our body doesn't know which signal to detect. And we don't know we're full, and we keep eating, and we reach out for another bag of chips. So, what's the solution? Starting tomorrow, maybe tonight, you will eat a rainbow of vegetables, especially water-soluble fiber like oats and beans. Cruciferous vegetables like kale, broccoli, cabbage are all good for midlife women. Since 95% of Americans are not eating enough fiber, we definitely have a lot of room to go. Now raise your hands. Who here loves their broccoli? Good job, girl. Kale? Oh my God. You all pass. Great. Yeah, keep up the good work. So when you feed those fiber-loving neighbors in your gut, the change doesn't just happen in here. It also change your mouth. The change also happens in your mouth. You have microbiome in your mouth as well. So it becomes easier to change what you crave. You have more fiber-loving bacteria in your gut and mouth to tell you that you just want healthier food. So it becomes less forceful. It becomes more natural to just want healthier food. If that makes sense. Questions? Yeah. Okay. Go for water-soluble fibers. And then so the method that started in Taiwan helped a lot of busy professionals to reset their metabolic problems. And there are physicians themselves and even sometimes athletes. And they help these people reset their metabolic issues like not just midlife weight gain, but also high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. And it's not just for women, so we can share with our partners too. A man used this method and lost 20 pounds of body fat, and his biological age dropped from 50 to 36. So we can regain our control over our metabolism if we are doing our behavior right. The second challenge. The second challenge that we feel during midlife is that our body usually feels squishier even without much weight gain. That's because as we age, as estrogen declines, we naturally lose muscle mass. And decreasing estrogen further increases that risk. So to replenish our muscle, we need protein. Because protein provides a building block for growing muscle. Why is muscle important? Yeah. Very good. Yeah. It helps us with those regards. It also helps with our clothes to fit better. Because they are more lean or more muscle. It's like, it's less fluffier. It helps us to look better in the same clothes. And it helps us to live that everyday thing. Because some girlfriends told me, like, I don't need to train. I don't want to look bulky. Well, girlfriend, you're not going to look bulky. You are just going to be more able to lift that suitcase at the airport, to lift that baby, to lift that bag of groceries, or everything at the same time. Who doesn't do that, right? A baby and a suitcase and maybe our man. And most importantly, muscle is the main engine for burning energy. So if you want to lose weight fast, you have to grow muscle. And then here's a common trap that people do. We don't usually do our protein right, or sometimes not enough. Why do I say that? Well, the artificial additives in our protein product usually has like artificial sweeteners, and they mess with our gut-brain signaling, leaving you feeling unsatisfied. So my girlfriend would say, Ian, I felt so hungry after my cookies and cream protein shake that I reached for milkshake because it had this artificial sweeteners that made her feel that it was real cookies and cream, but it's not. And then so she went for a real one. So you want to avoid those artificial additives in your protein shake. Second, in regard to protein, a lot of people think that meat equals protein, and now the new dietary guidelines added the red meat. But devil is in the detail. So if you eat an 8-ounce ribeye steak, that could easily bring you close to your daily limit for saturated fat, which is not good for your heart. And that's before you even counting your butter, your sides, or your dessert. So even though red meat has made it to the dietary guidelines, you have to consume it with caution. And if you're using GLP-1, anybody is using GLP-1 right now or considering? If you have girlfriends or friends with boyfriends and partners considering, using those medications gives you instant short-term results, yes. But they have to be more careful with their protein intake because study has shown that if you don't increase your protein intake during that time of super fast weight loss, 40%, up to 40% of your weight loss will come from your muscle loss. So that's why a lot of people, like, you're doing this like a vicious cycle, like they lose weight, they rebound, you lose weight and rebound. You just have to rebuild your gut microbiome. So what's the solution? You want a balanced regimen that combines animal and plant protein. And soy is a very good candidate for that. Did you try the snacks when you came in? Who hasn't tried the snacks when you came in? Well, if you haven't, I encourage you to try a bit. because it's made of tofu and yeah, both of the snacks are made of tofu. One is a salad, the other is a crisp. Why soy? Soy is rich in isoflavone. That's good for easing our midlife symptoms like hot flashes. Soy is high in protein content compared to other plant proteins like chickpeas or lentils. Soy has more bang for your buck. Density-wise, 1 unit of soy is higher than the other counterpart. And soy is low in saturated fat, which is good for your heart. Now, everybody's protein needs are different. So if you want to know how to combine animal and plant protein to create a healthy foundation for graceful aging, I'm happy to schedule a time to chat with you to see how I can help you get there. Questions? Yeah. I'm so glad you asked that question because I did get asked before. Yes, so it might sound like a kind of like an Asian only culture and then a cuisine, but I have other friends that asked me that question. So Americans have been consuming soy for over 200 years. So that gets us history straight. And soy is very versatile. It can fit easily into cuisines around the world, from Mexican to Italian. And at home, I make my soy taco, the tofu taco. I make Ethiopian meatballs. I make Korean one-pot pancake, scrambled eggs using tofu. So it could be all kinds of flavors. You just need to know how and be open, be curious. Come on, puberty again. Let's have fun to discover the new frontier. There's no going away with it. I wish I could. So yeah, so I host cooking workshop before, and I help teaching people how to make tofu patties and tofu meatballs to make that, we call it in behavioral science, perceived behavioral control easier. Because a lot of times people know it's the right thing to do, but they're not doing it because the perceived behavioral control is low. You think that something is out of your reach, then you don't do it. So my job as a behavioral scientist and certified nutrition coach is to help you bring down that barrier. Another question?
So you have a plan for people that don't do animal?
Yes. Yeah. You don't do animal protein? Great. Yeah, that's even easier. Yeah. All right. So that part is like what Melissa said, the common challenge is that we feel short fused, more sensitive, and just more emotional during midlife. And that's because as estrogen declines, we're more sensitive to cortisol, the stress hormone. So feeling tired, overwhelmed, worn out, it's just a normal response to our changing hormones. But we were never taught that way. Instead, we were taught to try harder, using grit to power through. If things stop working, try again. That diligence sometimes backfired. A girlfriend would come back from business trip, intense business trip. She was out of town in New York for 2 weeks. She skipped meals, hit the gym, had long business meetings all day long. She came home, gained 2 pounds. She was so surprised and frustrated, of course. But the thing is, if we only treat stress as some mindset issue, we're not looking at it as a physiological one, then we're missing the bigger picture. The dieting and training can become stressors. And when the body feels stressed, it kicks into protection mode. You want to protect yourself, so it holds on to more fat. And that increases our inflammation. So it's time to cut ourselves some slack. And acupuncture, like Melissa said, is a great way to just physiologically helps you to just let it go. Changing perspective is another way to look at it. Embrace the change and lean into community. Because community gives more than just knowledge. It gives us a sense of connection. And that sense of connection calms our nervous system. And that's very important for us to survive. So next time when you're at a party feeling guilty, don't know what to eat, here's a trick. I would recommend you to start with fiber and lean protein first because they fill you up. Once you start with fiber and lean protein, you don't feel hungry again. And then if you still want to be social, you don't want to offend the host, you can have nicely presented desserts and keep it under 3 bites. So that's a rule of engagement. That's why we practice a lot in the care program. Because again, in behavioral science, if you want to make a successful behavior change, rehearsal is very important. You need to have that contingency playbook for you to pull out during different situations. So today, we learned how to reset our gut-brain signaling by feeding our good gut bacteria. And you also learned how to build muscle by prioritizing good protein. You learn how to respect stress and lean into community. You know how frustrating it is when you're doing everything right and nothing seems to work? A lot of times, conventional approach is looking things at different buckets. Weight gain, eat less, move more. Hormonal fluctuations, try HRT or pick something. Mood swings, talk therapy, or power through. But these are all connected. And the key is gut health. It's the beginning of a lot of things. If we feed the good gut bacteria, prioritize good protein, respect our stress, our cravings will calm down, inflammation calm down, cravings calm down. We build a healthy foundation for graceful aging. So, what's the next step? The next step is to get a clear picture of your metabolism and your gut health. I can help you along this journey to provide you with a structured, personalized plan so that you don't have to figure this out by yourself. Because we are all different. The way we look at graceful aging could be all different. We have different visions. I want to get to know you, your unique situation. That's why I'm offering a 45-minute optimize your metabolism and gut health session so that I can know your unique situation and show you how you can take this further from what you learned today even further. Other people who reset their metabolic health also started with this step. And because today you're taking the time to be here to learn about how our body uses and absorbs energy, I want to take care of you. So I have 10 spots available in my calendar next week. And usually the session is $97 for the initial session. If you sign up today, the fee will be waived. I got sheets for Monday and Tuesday for you to find a spot that works for you. If you can't find any spot that works for you, you can put down this time that works for you, and we'll find out a solution. So because I only have 10 spots available, so the first 10 of you who sign up today can get on the call with me so that we can discuss your unique situation. Well, it's such an important and undervalued topic. People usually don't touch upon it, so I'm so glad you're taking the time today to be here to share, to show your presence and to discuss here with us, with other visitors here today. And I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you.